Real Virginia is produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Farming, it's all good. Visit our website at vafarmbureau.org.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Hello everyone and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce all of the wonderful products we enjoy. Virginia's 4-H and FFA students put their hard work on display at the State Fair of Virginia. We use fresh Virginia oysters in a recipe from the heart of the home, and a local orchardist is recognized for the fruits of his labor. Welcome back, everyone. We are here at the State Fair of Virginia in Daweswell, Virginia, and this fair actually began in 1854 in Richmond. It was a time for merchants and farmers and citizens alike to gather and celebrate the harvest. It's still very much the same today in Daweswell. However, it's also a time, as Norm Hyde reports, for FFA and 4-H students to gather and show off their hard work for the year.
There are a lot of reasons to go to the State Fair of Virginia. There's the food, the rides, parades, horse shows, the list goes on and on. But for some young individuals like brothers John and Robert Goodwin, it's about showing off their beloved animals.
My animal is about 2 months old. It's a red and white Holstein, and I've raised it ever since it was born. They're almost pets. Well, first you wash them, you clean where they've been sleeping for the night, and then you basically make sure that they have food and water before the show. And if you're a cow, I guess you would milk them the night before.
Boys and girls participating in 4-H start caring for their animals the day they are born. They learn how to feed and groom them, learn about animal health issues and the importance of good record keeping. Today, the boys are preparing their animals for competition.
You want them to be really comfortable before the show, because if they're in like a bad mood, then they won't show very well. And so you want to keep them comfortable.
Judging is based on how their animal compares to the ideal specimen in that particular category. The judge is evaluating how well the animal is groomed, but also the way the animal moves and cooperates with its young handler.
You try to keep them where they're handled enough with people that when you're in the ring, they won't jump around.
4-H is the nation's largest youth development organization, and studies show that children engaged in 4-H are nearly 2 times as likely to get better grades in school and 41% less likely to engage in risky behavior. And the list goes on. For John and Robert's dad, there's a few more good reasons to be involved.
That's the sole reason we're down here, is because I have smiling children. They enjoy it, they have fun, they interact with people that they don't normally see. So it's really beneficial because it teaches the children how to interact with all non-agriculture folks, and it also educates and enlightens urbanites on production agriculture in the state.
Since 1902, boys like John and Robert have been participating in 4-H competitions around the country. Although a lot of work, the boys enjoy taking care of their animals and still get a little nervous about stepping into the ring with their several hundred-pound pet. Like typical brothers competing for one championship ribbon, there's a healthy amount of trash talk once it's all over.
It went pretty well. His cow and my cow were in the same class because they're both the same age, and so I beat his cow, or mine beat his cow. He likes to tell himself that.
In addition to 4-H shows for several kinds of livestock, there are also a number of Future Farmer of America competitions each year at the fair. At the State Fair of Virginia, I'm Norm Hyde. The scenic rolling hills of Orange County offer some of Virginia's most beautiful countryside. This is also some of the most productive farmland in the state. Beef and dairy cattle are big business here, along with the crops needed to feed them. Corn, soybeans, wheat, and barley are grown here, along with hay. And the 518 farms in Orange County generate more than $76 million in cash receipts, making it the 7th-ranked county in Virginia agriculture. There are also a number of wineries and grape growers in Orange County, Virginia.
Hi, I'm Chris Mullins, and today we're going to be talking about growing pumpkins and gourds in your home garden. from the ground up. Please stay tuned.
We are at the top of the Shenandoah Valley in Winchester, Virginia. My grandparents started the farm in 1906. My dad started the dairy in 1948. I came back to the farm in 1977 to help my dad and my mom to run the farm, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me in my entire life. Shannon is my youngest daughter. Jackie is my oldest daughter. They have such wonderful work ethics. Shannon is my right-hand person here. She helps with the milking. If I need something, at the drop of a hat, she's here. It's so wonderful to have daughters that have that sense of responsibility, sense of country, sense of love for the farm, and I know they will always be here to carry it on. I'm Kitty Hockman-Nicholas, and I'm dedicated to dairy, my cows, my milk, and my land.
It's pumpkin season at last, and Chris Mullins has some suggestions on growing your own pumpkins in your own garden from the ground up.
Hello, today we're at College Run Farm in Surrey, Virginia, and we're here with Steve Berryman, the owner and farmer. He grows a lot of pumpkins, as you see behind me. Well, how many acres do you have, Steve?
This year we have about 8.5 acres of pumpkins.
That's a lot of pumpkins. They really take up a lot of space, as I can see here. As we're thinking about the home gardener and them growing pumpkins and gourds in the home garden, what kind of spacing would they need to put out a pumpkin like this right here?
For your larger pumpkins like the one you're holding, they require about 25 square feet per plant. So, you know, if you're planting in rows, 5 feet between rows and 5 feet spacing between seeds in the row.
Okay, you got, it's been a rainy season, and we see this pumpkin patch. It's got, you know, a little bit of weeds in it. I guess that's just par for the course for a pumpkin patch, isn't it?
Yeah, weeds were pretty hard to control this year. We do put down some herbicides, but with all the rain, most of them were washed away. We had a little bit of disease pressure this year also because of the rain.
I see. If the home gardener's thinking about putting pumpkins out, how long a season does it take? When should they start putting their seed or transplanting in the ground, and when do they think about harvesting?
Well, if you want to harvest a pumpkin like this for Halloween, say, you probably want to plant around July the 1st. If you're looking for something more decorative to start in September, you may back that up and plant a little bit earlier. But generally the last week in June or the first week in July.
They want that warm soil, right?
Warm soil, you want a well-drained soil, something that doesn't hold water, because pumpkins just don't like to get their feet wet.
But they do need some irrigation or some watering.
If it does get dry, you will need to irrigate, and you're better to irrigate under the plants, just the soil, because the more the plants get wet, the more they may harbor some disease also.
So the home gardener could maybe use a soaker hose or drip irrigation or something?
Yep, anything under the plant to keep the soil moist would be excellent.
Okay. We're looking at this pumpkin right here, and it's a nice normal sized pumpkin, but there's other types and other varieties that are out there. Why don't we go look at some of those that you're growing now?
Yes, we've got plenty of them.
All right. Well, Steve, we looked at the normal kind of pumpkin over there, and we're seeing all kinds of different shapes and sizes of the pumpkins and gourds here. Tell us a little bit about some of the things we're seeing.
Well, we do have pumpkins and gourds and some squash here. This is a swan gourd. This is good for drying out and decorating later on. We've got some munchkin pumpkins. These are real easy to grow, and they produce a lot on the vine. Squash. This is a Lumina pumpkin. It's white on the outside, orange flesh on the inside. It's good for cooking. The warty ones are getting real popular with folks, so we've just got a lot of variety.
Yeah, I've seen some of the warty ones. I think they're really neat. I've seen some of these birdhouse gourds that are direct decorated. They look great in the fall ornamental decorations around the house. Now, are some of these edible at all?
Oh yeah, a lot of these can be used as decorations in the fall, and then when you finish with them for decorating, they can be taken to your kitchen, made into pies or pumpkin butter. You can bake some of these squash, very tasty. So sure, a lot of them are edible. The gourds generally are not edible, but most of your pumpkins and squash are.
Oh, that's great. And I know that some of these little guys here, probably for the home gardener, you probably could produce out of one plant a whole lot of those little ones.
Sure, they produce probably between 5 and 8, maybe 10 per plant, and there's a lot of different colors you can get. This is just a few of them, green and orange and white. So there are a lot of them, and small gourds as well. They produce well too, and a large number of them.
Well, now, there's so many different types, so many different seed types. Can the home gardeners find these seeds online or in catalogs for all these different things?
There are a lot of seed companies that not only offer them to commercial growers, but they have websites where you can go in and just buy a few seeds of each if that's all you need.
A lot of different choices.
A lot of choices, hundreds of choices.
Well, great. Well, for more information about gourds and pumpkins, please contact your local county extension office. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins. We'll see you next time.
Up next on Real Virginia, October is when oyster season opens in Virginia, and Kendra Bailey Morris shares a tasty oyster recipe from the heart of the home. There's no better place to try a fresh oyster than Waterside, and today Kendra Bailey Morris takes us to the river to try a new recipe for fresh oysters in the heart of the home.
Hi, I'm Kendra Bailey Morris, and welcome to the Heart of the Home. Today I'm with one of my favorite people. This is Chef Pete Woods from I got corrected. Restaurant here in Topping, Virginia, in the Middle Peninsula along the Rappahannock River. This is a restaurant owned by Rappahannock River Oyster Company. It's a fantastic place to visit if you haven't been here. And Chef Pete is going to show us a signature recipe here.
Absolutely.
Angels on horseback.
Angels on horseback.
Tell me about them.
Here's the thing. They're incredibly simple, and if you're going to entertain, you can actually do them a day ahead.
Great.
They're going to sit. It's not going to worry. They're covered with the
People
ham.
love that.
Just
That's
wrap it,
great.
Put them in the fridge. Boom. Ready to go.
All right.
These are real minerally, real buttery and mild because they're from this area. Now we have beds from Mobjack Bay, and they're a little saltier. They're the stingray oysters.
Okay.
And then we have some that come from Chickateague. They're the old salts. And
Oh,
they're
yeah.
the real
I've had those.
kick you in the pants salty oyster.
I
That's
love
the
them.
Old fashioned.
I love them.
So this is real simple. Now,
Okay.
don't be afraid to shuck an oyster. There's two ways you can do it. If you're at home, you can actually put them on a grill.
Okay.
Pop open in about 3-4 minutes, and you can still use them. Just chill them, do the butter, do the herbs, do the whole thing, and put them back in the refrigerator until you need them. Now, what I do is I take a towel, and I do a C-fold, and then turn it over, so you have double layers on both sides. Then you nestle your little oyster in there. You can use a thin garden glove. It'll keep your hands protected, but you don't need to. You can just do that. It's a game time decision whether you want to go through the bill or whether you want to go through these. I have a really nice hinge here, so I'm going to go through the hinge. You just give it a little wiggle. You don't want to pry it because you'll snap your knife. You want to turn it. You want to twist it.
Okay.
Then you take the blade right across the top of the shell. Bingo.
Okay.
Release them. And there's that beautiful little unctuous.
That's the best part, yeah.
Do you want to slurp this one?
Yes. I do. Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
Now, I don't have one for me to slurp.
It was good.
Wait a minute.
It's really good.
Hang on. I always carry a spare.
Wonderful.
Always carry a spare. Again, just a
You
little
just
wiggle.
carry them in your pockets all day, don't
Pockets full.
Oh, yeah, that's good stuff right there. Mm.
They are the jewels of the Rappahannock. I'm telling you what.
And a lot of people are just finding the beauty and the joys of Virginia oysters, specifically the ones that are coming out of the Rappahannock, all over the country, all over the world, in fact.
I have to be honest with you. You know, during the 80s and 90s when it was so thin, it's basically skipped a generation. There's a whole generation of people that have never had one of these things. And they're just, they're absolutely
You need
incredible.
to come here to get one.
Yeah. Now, for our mix, it's butter, and this is softened.
Use unsalted.
Unsalted, yep, because I'm going to add a little salt and pepper. This is chopped shallots.
Okay.
Oh, yes, there you go. And I have just one little thing of chopped garlic.
So basically you're just making a compound
Make a nice compound,
butter.
just like a steak butter.
Great.
Now, I'm also using fresh thyme, fresh rosemary, and a little bit of basil today. That's what I have today.
Okay.
You can use tarragon, believe it or not. The sweetness of the tarragon really comes up with you. It's really nice. And just the herbs. And a pinch. You don't want a whole lot of salt because there's nothing on the planet saltier than this delicious ham.
Oh, yeah.
And the ham is you can get it at the market, and what it is the biscuit cut ham, the thin sliced biscuit cut ham. Everything, you know, as
It's
much
meant
as
for
I
a
can.
biscuit, that's
Yep.
right, yeah.
And as much as
So
I
good.
can, I source everything I can as local as I can,
Okay.
which is another reason why I like
Which is much
every-
of the menu here
Yep,
is almost all of it is
absolutely.
locally sourced. That's great.
Yep.
So it's a true taste of the Middle Peninsula and this whole area.
And what we're going to do, make it easier. You could sit here and you could do this and do this all day long. Take a dollop of the butter, put it on the ham. Right? Take the ham and turn it upside down on the oyster.
Ah,
Bingo.
that's great. Okay. So you're going to get the top of that ham is going to get nice and crispy in there. Okay.
And you can do it with a knife, a little butter knife. Bingo. Oh yeah.
Now the shallots are really going to bring out this dish too. I just absolutely, because one of my favorite things to get here is just the oysters on the half shell with your mignonette. That heavy on the shallot and that red wine vinegar is so good.
Now these can go right on your grill. You can put them on a pan if you like, but you don't have to. If you have a really nice grill, just pop them right on the grill, and the oysters sit right in your rack. So they don't roll over.
Okay, so
they won't
sit
lose
right
their
in
butter or their juice. They sit right in the rack.
Oh, perfect.
That one doesn't because he wants to be difficult, but
That's okay. It's still going to be good.
bingo. Now this is $3.75. Take about 4 to 6 minutes.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yep.
Great, great. And you said that people can make this ahead of time.
Absolutely.
So you could go ahead and make them ahead of time and just keep them in the fridge and just
Make them the day
plop
before.
them on and warm them up through it. That's a great entertaining tip.
Yep.
So I guess we'll go ahead and let these cook for a few minutes and come right back.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Thanks.
Okay, so
Let's see how
are they
look.
ready? Oh man.
Look at that.
Oh.
See, the butter's
Those-
just simmering. Got a
Yeah.
little bubble to it.
And you got the ham's getting nice and crispy.
Yep.
Wow. Oh, it smells so
See,
good.
they're their own little cooking vessel. It's like you don't need any extra pots or pans.
Perfect.
Now, I could give you the chef fingers and pick them up and do it myself, but I'm not going to do that.
Get your tongue. There you
I
go.
have the tongue.
Yeah, chefs, we don't feel our finger pads anymore, but
I have a very good friend of mine. I reached into his oven and pulled a pizza out one day, and I thought he was going to go through the roof.
wow, these are great, and they're still sizzling.
Yep.
Oh man.
Now, you really need to let them rest for about 2 or 3 minutes before you go ahead and eat them, or you'll be taking people to the emergency room with country ham and butter and oysters stuck to the roof of their mouth. But boy, look at those.
Okay, so we've let these rested
There you go.
just a few minutes
Yep.
because I couldn't wait. All right, I'm going in.
Going in.
I'm going in. It's still warm, not too hot.
You get,
Oh my God. Wow, so good.
you get the sweet of the shallot.
I don't care if it's too hot. It's really good. Great.
The sweet of the butter and the shallot.
Oh yeah, and that salty ham just nails it right there. This is, and the herbs, you can really taste the herbs in there. It's really, really nice.
Without overpowering.
Yeah.
You get everything.
Exactly. Especially with rosemary, which can be a strong herb.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you
My
so
pleasure.
much,
Thank
Chef
you very
Pete.
much. I am so glad you guys came down today.
I'm Kendra Bailey Morris. Thank you again. Let's get cooking.
Recipes from the heart of the home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafarmbureau.org.
Virginia's oyster industry fell on hard times several decades ago. Disease and pollution problems caused the oyster harvest to shrink to almost nothing. But thanks to pollution recovery efforts and research, Virginia oysters have recovered. In fact, this year's oyster harvest is on track to be as large as last year's, which was the largest in a quarter century. Assisting in the recovery of the wild oyster population are several commercial aquaculture operations, where oysters are cultivated in contained systems. Just one more way Virginia farmers and fishermen are working together to feed our state and our nation.
Looking for some unbridled excitement this fall? Make plans to visit the annual Equine Extravaganza, November 1st through the 3rd at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell, Virginia. The Equine Extravaganza truly offers something for every type and breed of horse lover. More than 100 clinics and demonstrations by top national horse industry experts will be offered. Everything from natural horsemanship to dressage, reining, jumping, trail riding, cowboy mounted shooting, barrel racing, horse business planning, and more. Plus, don't miss the exciting Masio Gypsy Festival Equestrian Show. 10 breeds of horses and their daring riders will give a high-energy, choreographed performance to music. There'll also be food, wine, and horse items for sale from all over the country, and a special Secretariat-themed event and book signings. It's all at the Equine Extravaganza, November 1st through the 3rd at the Meadow Event Park in Doswell, Virginia. Get your tickets today at equineextravaganza.com.
It takes a lot to be recognized as the best in the nation, but as Patrick Dunn reports, if you're an apple grower, it takes a love of farming and a dedication to producing a product people enjoy.
I'm here today in a young orchard of Honeycrisp apple trees on the Timber Ridge Fruit Farm. Now in the background, you might be able to see their brand new 100,000 bushel cold storage facility. Now owner Cordell Watt was selected as the National Apple Grower of the Year, and we're here to find out how he did it.
The people that are still in the apple business, they've been through some good years and they've been through some really bad years. But whatever you got to do, you got to keep your chin up through the good years and bad years, the bad hailstorms, the freezes, the labor issues, and all the different things we deal with. And you just got to keep moving forward and make decisions and don't look back.
Watt is the first Virginia grower to be named the nation's Apple Grower of the Year. He was honored for his efficient apple production and marketing techniques.
It means a lot to me, but you know, my grandfather started the business in 1948, and then my father took over in the late 1960s. And you know, I'm a third generation apple grower, and I wouldn't be where I am today without what they have done. And at the same time too, I have a really great group of employees. So yeah, I got the recognition, but to me, it should have been spread out to my grandfather and father and all the good employees we've had throughout the years and right now.
A third-generation apple grower, Cordell grew up pruning, spraying, mowing, and virtually living in the orchard during harvest. Even though he's a Virginia apple grower, he studied liberal arts at West Virginia University. 7 years ago, when his dad suddenly passed away, he was forced into management. But his heart and mind are still out in the orchard.
I still try to get outside as much as I can, but it seems like now I manage people more than I ever did. It's just part of the business. As you move, you know, as you move up the chain, you take on a different leadership role. My thing is, I will do whatever it takes for us to be successful. If I have to be on a forklift, if I have to be on a sprayer, if I have to be on a mower, or if I have to be in the office all day, I'll do whatever it takes for us to be successful.
Watt says careful handling and gentle treatment of the apples is critical in their operation. With nearly 1,000 acres producing 20 different varieties of apples, Timber Ridge gets busy as a beehive come harvest time. The apples are hand-plucked from the trees and gently placed into bins to prevent bruising. They're graded and sorted, then moved to their new on-site cold storage facility, which was waiting to be filled in September.
We're a fresh fruit operation. We probably grow 20 different varieties. You know, some varieties we only may grow 500 to 1,000 bushels. Some varieties, such as Red Delicious, we may grow 60 to 90,000 bushel reds in a good year. So we try to grow a lot of different varieties because we have some customers that might want 6 different types of apples on the same truck. So what we're trying to do is catch a lot of different markets, whether it's farm markets in Georgia that need 8 different varieties at one time, or if we're exporting Red Delicious out of the country, we may get an order for 5 or 6 loads a week, and it's just solid truckloads of red.
Whether it's a Gala, a Fuji, Red Delicious, or some other apple variety, Cordell and his team at Timber Ridge Fruit Farm continue to carry on the family tradition of finding a home for every apple they grow. In Frederick County, Virginia, I'm Patrick Dunn.
That's going to do it for this edition of Real Virginia. We are so glad you could join us today to celebrate the bounty Virginia has to offer. Whether it's in your home, your garden, or your landscape, we are proud to say that this is Real Virginia. So for everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a good month.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia.